In every corner of the world, there are secrets, stories that exist beyond understanding. Tonight, we uncover three terrifying haunted tales: the airport that never boards, the fog field, the elevator to nowhere. This is episode 113 of Dynamic Dark. Put on your headphones and let the fear begin. Today's first story is The Airport That Never Boards. My name is Ethan Cole. A few nights ago, I decided to explore an abandoned airport terminal alone. It wasn't on any map anymore. No flights had left that place in years. But I still found a way inside. The moment I stepped in, I knew something wasn't right. The place was massive. Huge empty halls stretching into darkness. Long waiting areas filled with broken seats. And silent check-in counters covered in dust. Not a single person. No guards. No staff. No sound. Just silence. A heavy, unnatural silence. Every step I took echoed louder than it should have. Like the space was too big. Or too empty. I tried to ignore it. And pulled out my phone to start recording. But then I noticed something strange. White light pointing backhand index, every screen inside the airport was still on. But something felt wrong. At first, I couldn't figure out what it was. The place was completely abandoned. No power, no activity, nothing. And yet, white light pointing backhand index, every screen inside the airport was still on. Departure boards, gate displays. Even the small monitors at the check-in counters. All of them glowing at the same time. I slowly walked closer to one of the screens. It flickered slightly. Like it was glitching. I looked around. White light pointing backhand index, there was still no one there. No staff. No passengers. Just me. And those screens. Then I noticed something strange. White light pointing backhand index, every single screen was showing the same message. Not different flights. Not different gates. Just one line. Repeating over and over again. I stepped closer, trying to read it clearly. And that's when my stomach dropped. White light pointing backhand index, it wasn't showing a destination. It was showing a name. Pause. White light pointing backhand index, my name. No flights, no people. Just one message repeating everywhere. I froze for a moment. The entire terminal, massive as it was, felt alive in the silence. Every screen flashed in unison. Gate displays, check-in monitors, departure boards. All showing the same thing. The message, it wasn't static. It flickered, glitching, like it was trying to communicate. I stepped closer, heart racing. The air was heavy, thick fog curling around my feet. The shadows stretching across the halls, making the space feel even bigger, endless. Then I noticed movement, subtle, in the corners of the terminal. Tall, thick black ghosts. Just standing there, silent, watching. I held my breath. The message on the screens became clearer. And then it hit me. White light pointing backhand index, it wasn't a flight. It wasn't a gate. It was a warning. A warning that was meant for me. Then I heard footsteps echoing through the massive terminal. At first, I thought it was mine. But no, I hadn't moved. The sound bounced off the walls, reverberating through the empty halls. Long, heavy, deliberate, slow. My heart raced. I froze, listening. trying to locate the source. The fog around my feet swirled. Shadows stretched across the terminal, making the space feel infinite, endless. Then I noticed them. In the corners, near the gate, along the walls. Tall, thick black ghosts. Their glowing eyes reflected in the flickering lights. They didn't move. But I knew they were watching. The footsteps got louder. Closer. Though no one was visible. And a chill ran down my spine. White right pointing backhand index, I realized. I wasn't alone in the airport anymore. I looked toward the gates and saw them. Tall, thick black ghosts, standing silently in the fog. Their glowing eyes piercing through the darkness, reflecting off the flickering lights. There were dozens of them. Maybe hundreds. I couldn't even count. They didn't move. Yet the air around me felt alive, as if the terminal itself was breathing. I wanted to run, but my legs felt like lead. The fog swirled around their massive forms, hiding parts of them, making them seem even larger and endless. I could feel their gaze everywhere, on me. A cold whisper brushed past my ear. Though no one was there, I realized then I was trapped in the airport with them. No exits, no escape. Just the fog and the black ghosts. They all turned toward me. Tall, thick black ghosts, hundreds of them. Their glowing eyes piercing through the dense fog. The air grew heavier, like the terminal itself was closing in. I tried to back away, but my legs wouldn't move. Every flickering light cast long shadows, distorting the shapes of the ghosts, making them seem even taller, even more endless. Then the loudspeaker crackled. An announcement echoed through the terminal. Metallic, unnatural, deep. White right pointing backhand index, final call for you. My stomach dropped. It wasn't a flight. It wasn't a gate. It was me. The fog swirled around them. They started moving closer, silently, gliding over the floor, surrounding me from every angle. The screens flashed one last time, showing my name. And in that moment, I knew there was no escape. Today's second story is The Fog Field. My name is Liam Hunter. I walked into a massive open field, covered in thick fog. I couldn't see anything beyond a few steps. The fog was dense, curling around my legs, swirling with every movement. The ground felt uneven, and every step I took echoed strangely in the emptiness. There were no sounds, except the soft crunch of grass beneath my feet. No wind, no birds, nothing, just silence. It felt unnatural, like the fog itself was alive. I raised my flashlight, but it barely cut through the thick hatch. And then I noticed white right pointing backhand index, shadows moving just beyond the light. Tall, dark figures, watching me silently. I swallowed hard and took another cautious step forward, not knowing what awaited me deeper in the fog. The space felt endless, like it stretched far beyond what I could see. Every step I took, the fog seemed to swallow it instantly. The ground disappeared under my feet, as if the field itself had no edges, no boundaries, nothing familiar. I called out softly, but my voice vanished into the thick hatch. echoing faintly, distorted, unnatural. Then I noticed movement. Shapes, shadows, tall figures just beyond the fog. Black forms. Gliding silently, watching, waiting. My flashlight trembled in my hands, barely cutting through the oppressive fog. A chill ran down my spine. The hairs on my arms stood up, and the fog seemed to press closer. I realized then, the field wasn't just empty. It was alive, and it was aware of me. Then I noticed shapes in the fog. Far away, just standing there. At first, I thought they were trees, or maybe abandoned scarecrows. But the shapes, they were too still, too deliberate to be natural. I squinted through the dense fog, and my stomach dropped. They weren't moving, yet they seemed to be observing me. The air grew colder, my breath visible in the thick haze. Each exhale lingering unnaturally long. Then one of the figures just slightly shifted. A glint of something glowing. Eyes. And then I realized they weren't singular. There were dozens, hundreds, black forms, standing endlessly in the fog, all facing me. I tried to take a step back, but the ground felt wrong, like it stretched differently, as if the field itself had bent, just for them. And the fog, thicker than ever, whispered my name. I walked closer. The shapes in the fog, the black figures, were real. My heart pounded in my chest, but every step I took felt like I was sinking into the fog. Something was wrong. The ground beneath me softened like it wasn't solid, and the air heavy, thick, pressing down on my shoulders. The figures didn't move, yet I could feel them shifting, aligning with me, mirroring my steps. Then I noticed the fog wasn't just fog. It was moving, curling around the figures, forming shapes, faces, hands reaching out. A whisper brushed past my ear. A voice, my name, drawn out, haunting. Liam. I froze. And in that moment, I realized I wasn't alone. And I wasn't meant to leave this field alive. They weren't far away anymore. They were all around me. The black figures, tall, thick, endless, emerged from the fog like shadows given life. I could see their glowing eyes, piercing through the haze, watching, waiting, silent, relentless. Every direction I looked, they multiplied, as if the fog itself was spawning them. The air grew colder, my breath visible hanging in the dense mist, and the ground beneath me seemed to shift like the field was alive. I raised my flashlight, but it did nothing. The beams were swallowed by the fog, revealing only fragments of the towering figures. Then I heard whispers, not far off, all around me, calling my name. Liam, Liam. I tried to run, but the field seemed endless, stretching further than I could see, twisting and bending, trapping me in a nightmare. They started gliding closer, silently, their dark forms flowing with the fog, forming a moving wall of black shadows. And in that moment, I realized I was completely surrounded, with no escape. The fog, the whispers, the black ghosts, everything converged on me. And I understood. This was it. I was trapped. Alone. With them. I just couldn't see them clearly. The black forms blurred in the thick fog. Tall, endless, surrounding me. Their glowing eyes faintly piercing the hatch. My heart pounded. My breath came in ragged gasps. And every step I tried to take felt heavier, slower, trapped. Then the whisper came. Not from one direction. Not from the front or back. But from everywhere. All around me. We were always this close. The fog swirled violently. The whispers echoed, overlapping. Like hundreds of voices speaking as one. The black ghosts moved closer. Sliding over the mist. Their forms stretching, merging with the fog. Closing in from all sides. I raised my arms. Screamed. But the sound vanished. Swallowed by the fog and the voices. The field. The fog. The shadows. Everything converged. And I realized. There was no escaping. No running. No surviving. I was trapped. Forever. With them. Today's third story is The Elevator to Nowhere. My name is No Carter. I stepped into an elevator. Inside an old building late at night. At first, it felt normal. The doors slid shut behind me. With a soft metallic sound. But something felt off immediately. The lights inside flickered. Just slightly. Like they couldn't decide whether to stay on or die out. The air felt heavier. Colder. I looked around. The walls were worn, scratched. Like something had been dragged across them repeatedly. I reached for the buttons. And froze. White right pointing back hand index, there were none. No floor numbers. No emergency button. Nothing. Just a blank metal panel staring back at me. Then suddenly, the elevator jerked and started moving. There were no buttons inside. Just a single screen. I stared at it. Confused, trying to understand what I was looking at. The elevator was already moving. But I had no control over it. No way to stop it. No way to choose a floor. Just that screen. It flickered softly, casting a pale light across the metal walls. And that's when I noticed something strange. The screen wasn't showing floor numbers. It just displayed one word. White right pointing back hand index, ascending. My stomach tightened. Ascending to where? This building didn't even have that many floors. The numbers suddenly appeared. 10, 25, 50. Climbing faster than any normal elevator should. The walls creaked. The lights flickered harder. And in the reflection, I thought I saw something behind me. Tall, black, unmoving. But when I turned, there was nothing there. The elevator started moving. Way faster than it should. The numbers kept climbing. Too fast to read. The walls began to shake. And something felt wrong. The numbers kept rising. 20, 50, 100, 300. This building didn't even have that many floors. So where was I going? Then the lights flickered. Everything went dark for a second. When they came back, I wasn't alone anymore. Something was standing right behind me. There was no space left. The screen changed. Full capacity. A whisper came right next to my ear. There's always room for one more. This was episode 113 of Dynamic Dark. Which story ruined your night? Tell us in the comments. The most terrifying comment will be pinned. Episode 113 is coming. Indian horror stories are even darker and more cursed. Like, subscribe and press the bell icon if you dare to step into the darkness again. Everyday new horror episode at 7:45 p.m. only on Dynamic Dark.